We are in the ward with Mark Peterson and Becky, his wife, and he invited us to one of the galas about 2 years ago, where the five piano players were playing. And at the time, I'd heard him talk about it a little bit, but I didn't really fully understand what the concept was and how it was, how it worked with the people in countries. And at the gala, they showed some a film strip or a slide presentation, I don't remember which, and learned a lot about, well, these guys they're doing good work to help people out in these countries. And it, of course, really hit home with me, having served a mission here in Guatemala, and I knew what the situation was like. I'd been among these people and saw the poverty and the extreme humility of the people and how well they accepted it, and they live with what they have, and they're happy. And so I decided, yeah, let's donate.
I think it's made me appreciate the ball.
That's okay.
It's hard to really completely, fully comprehend the extreme poverty and the very underwhelming circumstances that people live in here unless you actually come here and see it for yourself. No matter how many times someone tells you or shows you pictures or shows you movies, you can't grasp the reality of what they live in and the way they live. The way they're washing their dishes in this cement basin. They're washing their clothes in the same cement basin. They've got nowhere to really shower. Their form of cleaning themselves is to heat steam up in a little hut and go in there and steam off. And of course, that's not everyone in Guatemala, but the vast majority of the people who live out in the country, that's how they live. The people who are descendants of the original Mayas, the ones who speak indigenous dialects, that's how they live. And that's probably 60 to 70% of the country. That's how they live. They live in huts with a dirt floor, tin roof, tin walls. Maybe they have cement walls if they're lucky, if they're doing well. Their main form of, their main means is to simply grow vegetables and grow their food. And if they're lucky, they can trade with other people at the market and get a variety of food. But there are some who, they're simply subsistence farmers, and that's what they live on. What they grow is what they can live on. When I was here 27 years ago, an old man who was probably in his 70s would go out and work in the fields for 12 hours a day, and he would earn the equivalent of $1 a day. I mean, a month. I'm sure it's gone up since then, but at that time his comment was, I go work all day so I can feed myself and my family with beans and bread. That was it.
I think what I saw was the people, their love of family, their joy of having so little, but so much love for what they had, for their hard work. And I didn't feel like they felt like that it was hard work or that it was that they had so little. I felt like they were very thankful for what they had and very loving people. That they, even with so little, they had smiles on their faces. Their dirt floors were very clean. Their clothes were kept. And their work was something to be proud of, even though it was so simple. And that's what I will remember, the people.
What I think is most striking is that, knowing these people for a while, I knew that they were proud of their families and that they had great hopes for their families, but they'd come to the realization, they knew that this is their lot in life, this is what life has given me. I know I'm going to have to work hard, I want more for my children, but I don't know how. With mentors, you can see the hope in their eyes. They've now got this tool they can use. They know they're still going to have to work really hard the rest of their lives, and they've accepted that. But they now have hope that they can bring their children one step out of where they're at in poverty. By no means out of poverty itself. It's going to take a little while. Some may be able to do that, I'm hoping that mentors can help them, give them that leverage to get, just one generation removed from poverty. That would be incredible and way beyond the dreams and hopes of most people here. But just the fact that their children will have more and have the chance to study, and every one of them you talk to, their hope is that their children can get an education, because they know education is key, and that once they get that education, they won't have to work all of their lives and toil in the fields and come home with grimy, grubby hands every day and with sore back and sore feet every day, so that they'll be better. They'll have a better life.
That's what I heard from mentors when we were interviewing the clients, and I was listening to their interview. Was they knew that their lives were better from mentors, and they knew that their situation was improving, but their families' lives were improving. The hope for the future was in it, and the sparkle in their eyes as they talked about how mentors had improved, and like Vince was saying, that their children would be able to reach a different. Their hope was that, yes, they may work with them when they're small children, but that their future was so much brighter, and that's where I think a parent comes from, is that their children will have a better life than they did. And with mentors, that hope was there for them, where it may not have been before.
What I saw in the existing organization here in Guatemala in Mentors is you've got incredibly dedicated people. They understand the significance of the work that they do, and they're putting in tremendous hours each day to do that work. My hope is that their organization can continue to grow, and that they can continue to bless more families, but at the same time, I hope that they can increase their income themselves, so that by doing all of this incredibly hard work, putting in these 14, 16-hour days, getting up at 4 in the morning to go visit people, will pay off for them. I realize they're doing it. I could see by talking to them and listening to them, they're doing it because they love the people. They're not doing it because they want to get rich. But, they really deserve to be blessed themselves. And you can see the blessings they're bringing to all of these people and their families, and it's an incredible work that they're doing. And the organization here has impressed me beyond belief.
That's what I felt. Each one of the mentored people here had a spirit about them that it just something beyond words, that the love that they shared with their clients, like Vince was saying, that they really weren't doing it like back home. A lot of us seek for glory, or for good, or for praises, and I never felt that from these people here. I felt like Mentors was something to improve and to help others, and it was not for what they could get from it, but to improve someone else's life. And I think if more people and mentors could somehow show other people how much that improves someone's life, and that feeling of not pride, but feeling of love for your neighbor. That's, I feel like, what Mentors has brought to this country and to the people, that they can continue to increase, and hopefully that they get their lives increase in value also from all their hard work.
I think they would be surprised at something that, a quantity of money that probably means very little to them makes a huge difference in the number of lives down here. It's impossible to let someone know the difference. If every couple who were able to see the message and see what's going on here and how it helped the lives would simply donate $100 a year, it would make a huge difference. You don't have to donate thousands of dollars to make a difference, but if a large number of people were able to donate a small amount, it would help. It would make a huge difference and help countries like Guatemala become self-sufficient and start helping themselves from within. In all reality, people who are not in poverty, they're not the people who are in poverty are the ones who end up robbing and stealing to get drugs and to get involved in the drug trade just to make a living, even if they're not doing drugs. And sadly enough, that drug trade is all driven by the demand in the United States, for one thing. But if these people could find another way to get that income, the people who are getting involved in this drug trade are probably doing it because they're desperate. They need to do something to help feed their families, and they don't have any other way. With another possibility to help grow their own business and be able to be gainfully employed, they could do it themselves and wouldn't have to resort to such things. You get people who are doing better, crime goes down. That crime goes down and the income level increases here. People are no longer as directed. They don't want to go to the United States as much. It will lower the number of people who are trying to get in illegally, and they'll be happy living in their own country. If there were jobs here and there was money here, there wouldn't be any reason to want to go to the United States. And not that we don't like them there, but they probably don't really want to be there. They'd rather be home back here with their families.
I think a lot of people in the United States feel like they have to give so much because we expect so much in the United States to help others. And I think if they were to know how very little it takes to help one, that like Vince was saying, just the small amount, $10 a month saved for a year would be 4 or 5 families down here that you've helped, instead of thinking, what's $120? It goes a long, long ways. And I think if people were to acknowledge how much that small amount was, more people would be able to say, I can help. I can really help this.